Hey, Oz.
Hey, Curtis.
Hey, what do we got in store this week?
Oh, this week we are going to watch The Program,
Okay.
crossed with Hustle,
Alrighty.
crossed with The Blind Side,
Okay.
crossed with The Exorcist. This week we are watching Blue Chips.
Crossed with The Exorcist. Crossed with Split Pea Soup.
Welcome back to
an interesting combo, yeah.
Well, if William Friedkin was not the director of this movie, The
Yes.
Exorcist thing obviously would not fit.
Yes.
I did have Bull Durham at one point,
Yeah.
not only for the Ron Shelton reference, but also for the, oh, look, a female that's extremely knowledgeable about the sport that her love interest is in.
Yep.
But I thought, nah, I don't want to go screenwriter and director.
Well, there was also a Robert Wool sighting.
Oh, I had that as my first good, and then took it out because he didn't show up again. So we'll let that go. So, welcome back to another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, the movie podcast where we take a monthly theme and just joke around for an hour or so.
Basically,
I'm one of your hosts, Oz.
I'm the other host, Curtis.
And this week we are in week 2 of Bluevies Month, movies with blue in the title.
Yep.
And we are talking about the Nick Nolte, Shaquille O'Neal, Anthony Hardaway, and Matt Novar movie.
Can't forget
Blue Chips.
Matt Novar.
Can't forget Matt Novar. We're talking about Blue Chips, the collegiate basketball Bobby Knight documentary.
Yes.
So
Oz and I we were texting back and forth a little bit about this movie before, and this movie hits several of my professional hot buttons, and
it does,
professional and personal hot buttons. So we got some ranting in store for you as we go along here, folks.
Well, we want to make sure we leave plenty of room for the ranting. So let's hit these characters, and I'll drop the plot, which is pretty simple.
Yeah. When it all boils down to it, it is pretty simple. So as you before we get into the characters, I'll mention the director and writer. We've already talked a little bit about William Friedkin of The Exorcist, The French Connection, To Live and Die in L.A., and then Blue Chips, because why not? Also, and you mentioned this as well, you snuck his name in, Ron Shelton, the writer, who pretty much only does sports movies and the Bad Boys series.
That's about it.
Yeah. Bull Durham, White Men Can't Jump, The Best of Times, Tin Cup, Play It to the Bone, and Tom.
Was Play It to the Bone, was that the Woody Harrelson, Antonio Banderas boxing movie?
I think so.
Okay. Yeah,
And,
it's basically, it's like Ron Shelton is obviously successful at what he does, but it feels like every one of them is like just an interchangeable cap.
Yeah.
Like an interchangeable body on top of the same chassis.
Remove a baseball bat, insert a boxing glove.
Right. Take that out and put in a basketball.
Yep. So that's our director and writer. As far as the cast of characters goes,
well, before we get there, let's give a shout out to Patreon subscribers, Don S, Aaron A, and Mandy K. Thank you again for your patronage. All right, now that that's out of the way, let's get to the good stuff.
Yes, now that we've collected our money, let's get to the characters. We got Coach Pete Bell, aka Bobby Knight. Played passionately by Nick Nolte, I will say. Coach Pete, he coaches Western University. They won a championship several years ago, but the program has taken a slow downturn, Oz, and they just finished a season under 500 for the first time in decades. We have his I almost said estranged, but technically it's ex-wife, Jenny Bell, played by Mary McDonnell. Jenny Bell is a first grade teacher, an SAT tutor, and basically his walking conscience.
Yeah, and extremely knowledgeable about the ins and outs of coaching college basketball.
Yeah, she knows a lot about basketball.
Yeah, she's like the Rosie Perez and Susan Sarandon.
And Renee Russo.
Exactly. It's like, she's the Ron Shelton staple.
Yep, there she is. Female Ron Shelton character.
Yep.
We have Happy Kuykendall. It's JT Walsh, folks. It's JT Walsh, basically. Basically playing like hyped up JT Walsh.
Exactly.
He is an athletic booster for Western University, and boy did they let JT Walsh dial it up to 11 in this movie, Oz. We have Ed, reporter Ed, played by...
Who's he played by?
He's played by Ed O'Neill. I think he was just having a hard time remembering the character's name, and
I think Ron Shelton had him penned in as "We need Ed O'Neill for this role," and then just forgot to change it in the script. He just left him as Ed.
Well, I mean, to explaining things, this is long before the days of find and replace. So
yeah.
So he's a booster, or JT Walsh's booster. Ed O'Neill is the local reporter, the local beat reporter, who just wants to tell an honest story, Oz. After that, we have Levada McRae, played by Alfre Woodard. She is the mother of one of the three breakout star recruits that we have. So the Levada McRae character is the mother of of Butch McRae. I got ahead of myself. Butch McRae.
She might be Neon's mom. I don't know.
Maybe. I guess it wasn't explicitly stated otherwise. Butch McRae, played by Anthony Penny Hardaway.
Mm-hmm.
Future NBA player. Anthony Penny Hardaway went number 3 overall. Got traded to the Orlando Magic in the Chris Webber trade. Speaking of Neon Bodeaux, we have Neon Bodeaux, played by the one and only Shaquille O'Neal, which reminds me of a great Simpsons bit where I think it's the episode where Bart and Lisa join a youth hockey team, and and Bart's getting irritated because Lisa's really good at hockey, so Homer's spending a lot of time with her. And so Marge goes to cheer him up by taking him into the driveway to shoot baskets with him. And she's dribbling the ball with both hands, and she goes, "Watch out for the Shaq attack." And then it cuts to Bart getting hit in the head by the ball. And she goes, "I told you to watch out." So that's Neon Bodeaux. The third of our blue chip players is Ricky Rowe, Indiana's own Ricky Rowe, played by Matt Nover, who went to Indiana University to play basketball. So not a real stretch for Matt Nover.
Nope.
We got a couple other characters here as well. We have Marty and a blink and you miss it cameo from Robert Wool, because it's a Ron Shelton movie. We have another blink and you miss it cameo, Father Dawkins, played by Academy Award winner Lou Gossett Jr.
Yeah.
We have the athletic director of Western University, Vic Roker, played by Bob Cousy, NBA legend Bob Cousy.
I know. Why not?
One of the assistant coaches, Mel, is played by another NBA great, Marquise Johnson. And then we have a series of cameoed characters, or cameoed figures playing themselves, such as Larry Bird, Bobby Knight, Jerry Tarkanian, Jim Boeheim, Dick Vitale, and Rick Pitino. All of those people are grade A class acts, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
Which I in no way will circle back to at any point in this movie.
And none of them had any tips on how to write a plot like this one.
So that's the characters, Oz. What do we got for the plot of Blue Chips?
Blue Chips. We start out with Pete Bell wrapping up a bad season.
Mm-hmm.
Bad season by his standard.
Wow.
3-time NCAA champion at the prestigious Western University. Western what? Don't know. Just Western University.
Yeah.
And so he, they're trying to win a game so they could finish at 500. They just don't get it done, despite the fact that, you know what? This is a great group of guys. They all give it their all.
They're the best.
And Pete's just not accustomed to losing.
Mm-mm.
And so he's under a lot of pressure because you're Pete Bell. You're the winningest
Yeah.
coach. You're supposed like he's basically the Mike Krzyzewski, of this fictional college landscape. Untouchable. But not now, because in this climate, you had a subpar season. He's on the hot seat.
Yes, he is.
Which it's a little forward thing. The movie came out in '94, but it's like that's pretty much what's happening in the NBA these days. Like I saw the Bucks fired their coach today.
Yeah, just today. Yeah, we're recording on May 4th, 2023, and the Bucks head coach, who just won a championship 2 years ago, got fired.
Yeah, you're out of here. Yeah. And so, he's desperate. All right. And his team just isn't going to get it done. He's needing to get across the finish line, keep his job in shape. But the problem is all of these blue chip prospects are, they're all under the table. Like they're all getting paid. They're all getting what they need to go.
Yep.
Ed, a news reporter, he's pretty sure that Pete Bell has cheated before. He knows that the university has bought a lot of their football team.
Yes.
But up to this point, Pete Bell's clean. He's done it the right way, just through coaching. And boy, do we find out Nick Nolte is one heck of a basketball coach. And so everything's clean, but he's desperate. Because paying players to come play for you is just frowned upon. So he goes and talks to Happy. Happy comes to talk to him. It really doesn't matter who talks to who.
No.
Bottom line is, Happy is an alumni booster.
Yep.
He's an alumnus of Western U, and
Woo!
he's very
Go
wealthy. Do you think Ronnie was a alumnus?
I think he was a prestigious alumnus of
I think he was.
Woo.
Ronnie Woo.
Woo woo.
Ronnie Woo Woo.
Yes, and also 5 of the 9 members of Wu-Tang Clan are also WU.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Inspector Deck. Yeah, he graduated magna cum laude.
Yeah. Method Man.
Yeah.
Ghostface Killer. He dropped out.
He did. He didn't make it. He finished up at the community college though.
So yeah, Pete's desperate. And he's been chatting with Happy, and basically boils down to look, I need some help. Robert Wool pops in and basically says, hey, here's how you do this. Basically, here's a stack of the best prospects. Just take your top 3. These are the ones you're looking at.
Robert Wool playing like Mel Kiper Jr.
Exactly. Yeah. Minus the Dracula haircut.
Exactly.
But yeah, he basically, hey, just find the top 2 or 3 prospects, focus on those guys. You guys will be right back in the finals.
And Pete very naively is like, well, if I just cheat this one time, then it'll build the program back up and it'll be self-sustaining.
Yeah, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
It's like just no harm, no foul, just one time. So Happy convinces them, hey, everybody's doing it. It's fine,
If your friends jumped off a bridge, would you?
He's basically the Tim Meadows to Pete Bell's Dewey Cox.
You don't want none of this, Dewey. I think I do.
And so, yeah, there's the top 2 prospects are Ricky Rowe and Butch McRae.
Yeah,
Butch McRae. So they go, and he's going to humor himself. So he and his crew go out to Chicago to watch Butch McRae play ball, and apparently, despite it being a Chicago high school, just looks like a community gym. Like it's they're playing this big game, and of course Tarkanian's there. Like all the other college coaches that are in this movie except Bobby Knight are there.
Jim Boeheim's there.
Rick they all travel together.
There. Yeah,
they're all traveling together, and they realize, hey, it's just your montage. Butch McRae, he's the real deal.
Yeah.
Head out to French Lick to meet up with Larry Bird
Home
at
Larry Bird, Larry Legend.
At Larry Bird's house. And hey, do you know Ricky Rowe? course I know Ricky. Let's go meet him. And, thanks, Larry Bird.
Thanks, Larry Bird. Remember that McDonald's ad that he and Jordan did where they're playing horse?
Oh, yeah. They're bouncing off the scoreboard.
Off the scoreboard, through the bleachers, over the rafters.
Admit,
nothing but
I do like watching YouTube videos about Larry Bird stories.
Apparently he was the worst trash talker.
Yeah, but just the amount of respect he has from everybody that played in that era was almost like this dude is real.
Nobody wanted to play him. They all respected him, but nobody wanted to play him.
Right. Not only because he would just destroy their psyche, but he would just there's a story of he shot an entire quarter left-handed or something it's just he's just bored.
Yeah.
I'm going to go. He would just tell him down court, next play, I'm going to go here, I'm going to go over there, I'm going to pop it and make it. And they would just do it.
And they couldn't stop him.
They couldn't do it.
No, they couldn't stop him.
And I know Jordan was a trash talker, but you never heard stories like that about Jordan. He just had that drive.
Jordan is a sociopath.
But
but Larry was just a jerk.
Yeah, he's just out there having fun. I know I'm better than you, and I know you can't stop me. So I'm just gonna have fun with it. And I love hearing those stories. And so they check out, like I said, they go check out Butch. They go check out Ricky. And in both instances, both parents, they know what's going on.
Yeah, they know the game.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun because Pete Bell, he's got the inside track. when they go to French Lick, Ricky Rowe is in the parade. He's almost like the what do they call it?
The Grand Marshal.
Thank you. Yeah. He's like co-Grand Marshal with Larry Bird, and Pete Bell's driving. He's driving the car,
much to the chagrin of the other coaches who were there at the parade,
who are also at the parade to watch Ricky in the parade. They each had their disposable plastic bag for when he throws candy.
For candy, they're old jewel bags.
Jerry Tarkanian looks like he likes Tootsie Rolls.
I bet he's got a big stack of them at his desk.
Yeah, and so so he's got the inside track on these guys, but in both cases, the parents of Ricky and Butch are like, what do I get out of it? Mm-hmm. Butch's mom wants a new house and a job. She wants a yard where the kids can play. Because she lives inner city Chicago. Ricky's dad's want a new tractor, and Pete's just it's like, your little angel and demon on your shoulder. Mm-hmm. He knows this is what he's going to have to do, but he's never done it before, so he's really indecisive about it.
Well, and he, he tries to do the thing where he's the good guy, but he knows Happy is doing the dirty work.
Exactly.
On the other side, so he's trying to keep his conscience clean throughout this, knowing because I'm not the one handing him the money. I'm not the one pulling the new tractor up.
I'm just the middleman. Yeah. We also come across kind of a fun little scene where he gets word down in Louisiana. Mm-hmm. So he meets up with Slick, who's basically he's not a scout, but he gets word that there's this guy completely raw, never really played the game before, but
scored a 520 on his SAT.
Right. It's you get a 480 just for spelling your name right. Well, that's just it. He couldn't spell his name right. To be fair, though, his name's Neon Bodeaux. It'd been different if it was Ed Smith. But no, it's Neon's. But Bodeaux, that's a mouthful. Shaq's Irish. He's not French.
It's O'Neal, yeah.
Right. And so, played by Shaquille O'Neal, a very young and svelte Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, pre-Kazam Shaquille O'Neal.
Yes, what was that other superhero? Was it Steel? Is that what he
Steel.
was?
That's right. He was Steel. This was around the same time as Shaq Fu.
Oh yeah, I do enjoy.
Remember
Shaq
when
Fu.
he was a rapper?
Such a great album.
Was it Foosh?
Yeah.
Fooshnickens? Was that the rap outfit he was in? Yeah.
Yeah. Fooshnickens.
Fooshnickens.
Hey, he likes to entertain. You can't fault him for that.
He does.
And so he's got this holy triumvirate now. He's got Butch, he's got Ricky, and he's got Neon. And then we come across a montage where basically they're all getting paid. But not quite yet. They come to campus. Ricky's always interested in his girls, and that's thankfully all they get to look at when they're touring campus.
Matt Nover's
girls.
Such a terrible actor. I know they cast college athletes, but oh my god, that guy was wooden. That was bad. Awful.
Yeah.
You see the girls? You see those
girls? Look, Neon. Girls. Honestly, he's so bad that he made Shaq and Penny look like good actors.
Oh, yeah, look like prestigious thespians.
Yeah, wow, you found 2 really tall actors to play these basketball players next to that guy? No, Matt Nover, he was bad.
Yeah.
But it was still so bad it's fun because he wasn't an actor.
Yeah.
It's
clearly
there was no confusion.
No.
So, they're doing their warm-ups. They get their voices read over the PA system. It's fun for them. Because they're kids.
Yeah.
They're supposed to be kids. I work in a high school. You work in a high school. They don't grow them like that in my high school. Like
6'9" Penny Hardaway and 7'2" Shaq. And
but they're just full-grown men.
Yeah, yes.
My seniors still, despite having some muscle definition on some of them, they're still boys.
Yeah.
But it's no, you're not going to watch this and seniors in high school today be like, oh yeah, I associate with Shaq. We're the same. I'm the age now that he was in that movie. No, you weren't.
No, no, he was never your age.
So really what tips it over was Ricky comes into the coach's office. It's kind of just really arrogant.
Oh yeah. Just very matter of fact.
Yeah, he just sits down with the entire coaching staff and he's like, "Okay, I want to be here. I'm gonna need $30,000."
I pulled a quote from this.
Go for it.
As a white blue chip athlete, I deserve something extra. Coming from the mouth of esteemed actor Matt Nover.
That's me. As the white one, I need more.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, Matt.
He brought his privilege to WU to woo.
Right. I brought all of Indiana with me. So here comes racist comment number 1. So I need more. And Pete just kicks him out of the office.
Yeah.
You get back to Indiana. You're out of here. I still can't tell if he did that in an effort to save face or if an effort because he still was kind of on the fence. It was after this scene where Happy pays everybody.
Yeah.
The tractor shows up at Dad's. Yeah. Mom gets a new car and a new job. Even Neon gets offered a car. Yeah. Neon's kind of taken aback by it. He's like, I don't want anything. It's...
Man of morals, Neon Bodeaux.
Yeah.
18-year-old Neon Bodeaux.
But it is still just kind of odd, though, that, Neon wasn't Neon's not there the same way the other 2 were there. I feel like of the 3, Neon is there the right way. He was discovered and brought him in, and there wasn't really any talk of I'm going to pay you and get outside of hey, we'll get you this tutor, we'll get you through, and because they struggle. They got one guy that's flunking TV, Tony.
Yeah, poor Tony.
So Happy makes it work, right? House and job to Butch's mom, a tractor to Ricky's dad, as well as a bag of cash for Ricky. Dropped off to his dad.
Yep.
Which I thought was Ricky's on campus, right? Or was Ricky back home? Did he actually go back home?
I don't think he ever went home now.
Okay, I don't think so. There's too many girls in LA.
I'm looking through my notes, and I have another thing here of it's Ricky and Butch walking through campus, and I have Ricky is looking at sexy co-ed legs. See the legs of that girl.
He's 6'10". He's looking down. He can see tops of knees.
Seriously, did you see their legs? Because I can't.
Describe them to me, Butch.
Just torso and feet.
You're a real nice top of your head.
I like your scalp.
Meanwhile, Ed O'Neill's character, Ed, he's like a ninja when it comes to this stuff.
Yeah, he is.
Because he's suspecting a scandal. Because he's just like, wait a minute. WU's program has been mediocre the last season or so, and now Pete Bell suddenly recruits just the top 2, if not 3 top recruits in the nation. Like, something's fishy here. And so, Pete's stuck in the middle. He keeps getting these demands from the players, but he's also getting the heat from Happy on the booster side. And he goes to his ex-wife. He goes to Jenny, and he's already like, hey, I need your help. She's like, I don't tutor athletes anymore. I'm done. I'm teaching what, like kindergarten or first grade or whatever.
Well, he goes and visits her while she's working, and he brings Neon with, and they just walk into the classroom.
It's 1994. It's okay then. Yeah,
they just walk into the classroom.
Yeah,
while Shaq is mugging for the camera the whole time.
Yeah, a whole time. I love young Shaq. The dude. I mean, not just to this, but like even when he came out, in the NBA, just so much charisma.
Yeah,
and could back it up.
Yes.
It was just he was just playful, and that's what was fun. Is it's like he always had a smile on his face. You rarely saw him mean mugging, but at the same time, he's tearing down standards.
Yeah, exactly.
Breaking backboards. And it's like, that's just nuts. Like, to just dunk with that much force. He was just something else. So, we get a fun little scene with Jenny and Neon in the kitchen. Where she's basically challenging him.
Yeah.
It's also kind of funny. Neon's got this running theme where everything's culturally biased.
Yeah. Well, I will say he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong.
No.
He's not wrong. But we at this point haven't been given enough info to realize that he's actually intelligent.
Yeah, that he's brighter than he lets on. He's brighter than the 520 on the SAT.
Yeah. It just seems like that he heard it somewhere and he just keeps slinging it around. Mm-hmm. Like, this is just culturally biased. When the school I taught at before I'm at now had a much higher diversity percentage than the one I'm currently at. And I had a couple of students, and I got along with these kids great. And it was fun because I could see through their crap.
Yeah.
That they would sling all day long. And there was one kid in particular, and all day long, whenever he was tasked to do something he didn't want to do, he would always bounce back to the teacher. It's because I'm black, isn't it? And just about every instance, the teacher would back off, like every time, because they didn't want that. I'd call him out on it every time. I mean, it would be something like, "Hey, sit down, sit down for me. It's because I'm black, isn't it? Yes, I'm telling you to sit down because you're black. Like, yes, I'm telling you to turn your homework into me because and he knew I was like, he wasn't going to faze me. And so it was just fun. And that's kind of what young Shaq was like. He was just kind of just go. And so with this whole, it's culturally biased, everything's culturally biased. It was just kind of fun. But we get this fun little back and forth where she basically says, I'll give you $100 if you score, what was it? Like a 800. 800. I'll give you $100 you score an 800. He's like, for that, I'll score 900. And he does because everything's just laid back and whatever. And so we hit a point where Jenny calls out Pete. Are you cheating? They're out to dinner. Are you cheating?
No, we're not cheating.
Nope.
I'm not. Pass the Parmesan cheese.
I'm clean.
Mm-hmm.
The program is clean. No problems at all. Well, Pete confronts Happy because things kind of got out of hand. And Happy basically says, look, this has been going on. You don't even realize it. Mm-hmm. And he brings up a point shaving incident a few seasons back. And he doesn't believe it. Nope, not Tony. Tony never do it. No, Tony's a good kid.
Not Tony.
Nope.
Just because he's flunking TV doesn't mean he's a bad kid.
Right. Nope, not Tony. Just because I have to send somebody out to buy him condoms doesn't make Tony a bad kid. And so Tony's a good kid. And Pete doesn't believe there's no way. Nope. Mm-hmm. So he pulls the tape. And I really enjoyed this scene where all the coaches are sitting there watching it.
It was like it was like the Zapruder film, like the JFK
It was,
assassination.
yeah. But it's like Pete's watching it, and he's pretty quiet. And you've got like the oldest white guy scout that is like, he's starting to pick up like, that's not right. Something's not right here. But then you got the other two scouts that are both African American, and they're still like, no, he's a good kid. He didn't do it. Pete keeps rewinding and watching things. Like, he's making bad play after bad play. He keeps watching the clock. They won the game, so nobody really thought twice about it. But then it was kind of fun watching all four of them eventually come to the conclusion that this game was fixed. Mm-hmm. We didn't recognize it. Nobody noticed it. And so Pete does to Tony what Pete did to his wife. He just barged into his dorm late at night, entered his dorm room and slams him up against the door and just basically gets him to admit, yeah, just one time, coach.
Yep.
Just one time.
Poor Tony.
And now Pete realizes that he's not in control. Jenny realizes that Pete's lied to her, even though Pete didn't really feel like he was lying to her because he, like you said, he wasn't the one passing the money over. But
he knew better, though. He knew better.
Of course, he did. But he thought I can get away with it because it's going to be just this once. Basically, he's no better than Tony. So he's on his own, really. Like, Jenny's done with him. Mm-hmm. So it's time for Western University to play a nationally televised game against Indiana, the #1 team.
Yep.
Coached by Bobby Knight, the inspiration for this character to begin with.
Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
The Indiana University featuring Calvert Chaney as well as Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley.
Bobby Hurley apparently played one game for Indiana University.
And not Matt Nover.
No,
because he was playing for WU.
Not Matt Nover was also
he was playing for Triple U. I think they should be called Triple U.
Triple U.
I mean, WU doesn't make any sense.
The letter W always confounded me because, like, every other letter in the alphabet is one syllable, but W is one letter but three syllables.
Right.
That never. I don't know. I've never wrapped my mind around that.
Yeah, and capitalized it's a V, so that's even trickier. They win the game through a bunch of creative editing and montage. They win the game thanks to it's gotta be a montage. Thanks to a last second dunk by Neon Bodeaux. They win the game, and then the post game press conference. Ed calls out Pete again.
Mm-hmm.
Did you cheat? Because he's been riding him on this for years, and Pete just says, "Yeah, we did," and just admits it all.
Yeah.
Comes clean. You see, Bob Cousy just hang his head. You see Happy just lose it.
Yeah.
Because he's been the puppeteer behind the scenes, and he just had his, he's been exposed now.
Yeah, he goes full JT Walsh.
Yeah, he does. That's what they paid him for. And he just comes to ground like, yeah. And you know what? I quit.
Yeah.
Quits after arguably, easily the biggest game of the season, beating the #1 seed or the #1 team in the country. And then he leaves and decides to, because again, let's not forget, Western University is in Los Angeles. So he leaves campus and just goes for a walk through LA, just the neighborhood apparently. Comes across, it's late because it's late, like this is after a national televised college basketball game. So it's not like 5 p.m. This is late.
Yeah.
Comes across a like just the neighborhood park where there's 75 kids out playing basketball after hours.
Yep. A little late night pickup.
And Pete does what Pete does best. He just barges in on something else that's going on.
Yep. This probably 50, 60-year-old white man just walks up to a group of 10-year-old black children playing basketball and
he's like, hey,
starts coaching.
You look like you've got some skill, but you're shooting the ball wrong. Do this. And of course the kid's a natural. And so Pete, they play a game because the white savior showed up.
White man knows best.
Yep. Listen to Pete Bell. So he shows up and he shows all of these LA black kids how to play basketball, and it took him seconds because he's just a fountain of knowledge.
He is. He's that good of a coach.
And then we get a text epilogue, which I love so much.
Also known as a textalogue.
Textalogue. Pete continued coaching, but he moved to not Central America, but Mid America, the Midwest. Moved to mid. Yeah, he's gonna take his skills to a different shade. But he heads to the Midwest to coach high school basketball. Tony graduated, plays pro ball in Europe. Ricky Rowe got injured, went back to run the family farm like his dad wanted him to. And Neon and Butch, they dropped out and went to the NBA, which, was a true story.
Yeah,
so
and they all lived happily ever after.
That's Blue Chips.
That's Blue Chips right there. 1994's Blue Chips. At this point in the show, folks, Oz and I each give our own unique rating to the film we've been yapping about. In this case, Blue Chips. Oz, how would you rate this flick?
I'm going to give this an 800 on the SAT.
There you go, an 800. That was what Mary McDonnell was shooting for there with Neon.
Yep. What are you giving it?
I'm going to go with, I'm going to rate this $30,000 in a duffel bag to Matt Nover.
Ooh, nice. Nice.
So yeah, that's my rating. Next up, folks, we've got Outside Insights. Oz and I have been scouring the interwebs, looking for unprofessional reviews that tickle our funny bones, and we hope they tickle yours too. Oz, what is your Outside Insight?
Mine's a short one, a 1.5-star review by Adam Lukic. Adam Lukic left on May 4th of 2022.
Okay.
A real stinker. Matt Nover went to my high school, though. Go Trojans.
San Dimas High School football rules.
Exactly.
Go Trojans.
And there's not one capital letter in anything. Even the man's name, Adam Lukic, all lowercase. Didn't capitalize his name. Go
he was so happy to just divulge that he went to the same high school as Matt Nover, and B, he just had to get to the Go Trojans.
Go Trojans. I like the fact too that this review came out 28 years after the movie.
Yeah. Well, speaking of, that actually segues quite nicely into mine, because mine comes out 29 years.
Ooh.
And at the time of this recording, which we're recording this on, May 4th, 2023, this review was dropped on IMDb on May 2nd, 2023, 2 days ago.
Mine was dropped 1 year ago.
Literally 1 year ago, yes. So yours was 1 year ago in 2022, and mine was 2 days ago from a movie that was made in 1994. That I don't.
Well, now I know. Yeah. Now I know how recently you put your notes together.
Well, I will say I wasn't happy with my initial one, and so I went back and it's like, oh, maybe I missed something. And it's like, oh, here's a new one. So this comes from Ross Cohen 2 days ago on the Internet Movie Database. This film was loaded with talent. Although Nick Nolte carried this one, he was assisted by real basketball players, including Shaq and Penny Hardaway. Made way before the NIL deal in college sports, it shows the dilemma many coaches and athletic directors faced. Nolte is a coach at a made-up college, and the pressure to win and play by the rules of the NCAA becomes too much. He decides to do whatever it takes to win, even if that means breaking the rules. A one-of-a-kind film of a taboo subject that teaches the viewer how much pressure coaches are under. Great performance by Nolte. Not just for the sports fan, you can watch this with your kids and girlfriend.
Wow.
I know.
I don't have a girlfriend.
No, but you could watch it with your kids and girlfriend.
Yeah.
Not or.
Yeah.
And.
Yeah, and not your wife.
No,
you
no,
can't watch
not,
it
no,
with
no,
your spouse.
No, your kids and your girlfriend simultaneously.
This is a good movie to introduce the two.
Yeah. Hey
kids.
Hey kids.
I'd like you to meet my girlfriends. Now let's watch Blue Chips.
This is Kimberly. She's your new mom. And Blue Chips.
Yeah.
Oh man. And your girlfriend. Next up, folks, it's that segment you've all been waiting for, our signature segment. The 3-2-1, in which Oz and I each share 3 goods, 2 bads, and 1 about the movie in question. In this case, 1994's Blue Chips. Oz, what are your 3 goods?
My first one, I really got a kick out of watching Nick Nolte coach the real basketball players. Like telling and showing Penny Hardaway how to do something, or Shaq, like how Shaq should move in the low post to make himself better. Like, it was just funny just watching Nick Nolte coach these guys that clearly knew what they were doing.
Yeah, watching him shove his hips in a Shaq's knee. Yeah.
So that's my first good. My second one is this is probably just a goof, but Pete Bell's end speech starts behind the microphone, and then he comes out from behind the microphone and just talks to the crowd without a microphone. But everything is still echoing like he's speaking into the microphone.
I never caught that, but you're completely right.
Right. It's like he's not wearing a lavalier mic.
He's got a lapel on.
So yeah, he starts there and it's fine. And as he leaves, like, the echo still persists, and that was funny. And then my third is just the on-screen text exposition at the end.
Yeah,
wrapping up everybody's journey without showing them. I just got a kick out of that stuff. The only thing that would have been better is if they freeze framed it in between, like they did at the end of Animal House, where they freeze frame who they're talking about. But no, we were too busy watching Pete Bell save those poor black kids from poor basketball skills on the park. So.
I would have loved to have seen the Matt Nova Ricky Rowe freeze frame being him looking at a pair of legs on campus. Check out these sexy co-eds, Butch.
Yeah. Looking at that new John Deere tractor, the way he looks at those legs.
Just looking it up and down. V8. Green paint.
So. What are your goods?
Oh, my goods. I'll start with the storytelling and pacing. I don't think was that bad. It was a simple story, but I'm not going to say I enjoyed the story overly much, but I thought it was the way they told the story from a filmmaking perspective. I thought was the people who made this movie know how to make movies.
Absolutely, yeah. This is not William Friedkin's first role, first directing job.
Yeah.
French Connection, The Exorcist.
Yeah,
it's obviously well past his prime,
mm-hmm.
but he still knows what
he knows how to tell a story.
Just like Bob Cousy standing at the free throw line shooting free throws while he's talking to Nick Nolte and not missing a single one of them. Like, Bob, you just don't forget how to do certain things. And that's Friedkin in this.
And then he shot one left-handed and still made it.
And then made that
too. My second good is that Nick Nolte was all in. I thought he, despite what I'm going to get into in my bads here in a moment, how much I don't like the character, just for my own reasons. I thought Nick Nolte did a solid job in the role and sold it well. My last good was the last 20 minutes was pretty much all the game, so I didn't have to take any notes. So that's my third good, is that it really took it easy on me for the last 20 minutes of the movie.
Right. No scrupulous writing nonstop.
Right? Thanks, Bobby Hurley.
Yeah, appreciate it.
So, Laz, what are your 2 bads?
My first bad is just the thought of firing Pete Bell after his first losing season.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is college basketball. Like, it's a different playground. It's a different battlefield out there. And it just was odd that it's like he finished like one game under 500 and they're like, he's done. He's washed up. Get him out of here. Yeah. So that's my first bad. My second one also is a Pete Bell. He worked so hard to break the rules. And then I got the impression this was the season opening game against Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
because I mean there would have been footage
Yeah.
otherwise of their so he worked so hard to break the rules to get these guys in there and try to remain clean. And in one game against the number one team of the country that they win, he's like, I can't do it. Too much weight, too much burden.
Yep.
So it's just, it was like, but you spent so much time trying to okay yourself in doing so that then you bail. Like, what did you think was going to happen? You know, what if they would have lost? Would he stuck around? Like, to be like, oh, so at least it wasn't good enough to beat the best team.
Yeah.
Like, so that's my second bad. It just seemed, just the about face was just kind of odd.
Sure.
What about you?
All right, my first bad is Bell is not above virtue here, because even when he was recruiting and talking to the parents, he was lying to them. Like they kept asking him like different families, like what religion are you?
Exactly.
I'm Baptist. Which kind of Baptist? Yeah. Oh, the good kind.
Northern Baptist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So like he's already playing the game here.
I'm Pentecostal.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, strap it in here for my other bad, because here comes my rant.
Go for it.
So my other bad, this movie, just because of the again, nothing about William Friedkin or whatever, but just several of the topics that came up hit a lot of my personal and professional hot buttons. Professionally, again, I'm a school counselor for a trade in a high school, and there are two organizations that if I could just tie a sack of nickels around them and throw them in the river, it would be College Board and the NCAA. The NCAA is just such a scam. All they do, especially at the D1 level, is out to profit and make money.
Mm-hmm.
I'm debating whether to tell a couple of stories right now, but I don't want to give away the anonymity of my students.
Okay.
But it's just I've seen examples of kids who have to take classes in high school that they were miserable taking simply to be eligible for the NCAA. I've seen schools accept students with reject students with GPAs near 4.0, but accept students with GPAs in the low 2s, just to accept student athletes. And again, I hope everything works out for those kids. I love working with. I don't want to give that impression at all, but at some point, like, are you really an academic institution? Or are you just there to make a couple of the bucks off the backs of these these God-given athletic gifts that some of these kids have?
Right.
And it bothers me to no end. I just celebrating Bobby Knight as a person is just
exactly, yeah.
Like, he's a terrible human being. Bobby Knight is an awful person, and people like him because he's a fiery coach. He threw that chair across the gym. Bobby Knight is a piece of garbage. And modeling the Pete character after this trashy person, it's like, yeah, Pete has these morals and virtues and whatnot. Yeah, but he treats his players like garbage at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
I had a middle school basketball coach that modeled his coaching style after Bobby Knight, and I was frightened of the man.
Yeah, it doesn't work in college, let alone middle school.
Yeah. I was a kid growing up with, at the time, I wouldn't have been able to identify, but with a lot of anxiety, and that it frightened me, and it took away all my desire and joy in playing basketball. I didn't play once I got to high school.
Which sucks, because you're 7'8".
I am. I mean, 7'8" without shoes. But
like the webcam that you have on is on the second floor, and you're standing downstairs.
Yes, yeah. The bookshelf behind me has 9 more layers below it.
Yeah, exactly.
You're
the Robert Wadlow of your hometown.
There you go. But again, this movie, it hit several of these hot buttons for me, like personally, professionally. And it was a hard watch for me, not because it wasn't on. It wasn't a good movie.
Sorry, I picked it.
You should know better than to throw a movie at me that you haven't watched in 20 years, knowing full well it's going to hit hot buttons, going back to me at the age of 11.
I should have. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So, And I'll even say, like, elevating these D1 coaches as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, just this. There's a lot wrong with the tertiary parts of this movie. So that's my rant. That's my second bad. Oz. Thanks for listening.
No problem. Anytime.
What's your one?
How did Ed O'Neill get those perfectly timed photos to incriminate Pete?
He had Bud take him.
Like, yeah, Bud and Kelly. He's got, like, as Butch McRae's mom is, like, moving the sold sign to her new house, click.
Yeah.
You know, as the tractor is pulling up in front of Ricky Rose's house, click. Like,
and it's taken from, like, Ricky's dad's perspective.
I know. I know. It's like
he's wearing a GoPro on his head.
You know, it's just like the timeliness of those photos were almost like he had to have been in on what's going on to be there at that time. But he obviously wasn't. But that's my is those snapshots to incriminate Pete and the whole plot. Like, how'd you get those at the exact moment you needed them? So, what's your
my and there's really several I could go with here. One of them I put down in quotes, "For Christ's sake," which I think should have been the tagline to this movie.
Well, by Christ you meant Pete Bell, right?
Yes, yeah. Savior Pete Bell. I'll go.
The white savior.
I will go with this. This kind of circles back to some of the things I've mentioned already. But if Pete Bell is not cheating. Like, this is before Happy. This is before it was at the Friends of Western or whatever that organization was. If he's not cheating, is it implied that the other real coaches in this movie are cheating? Rick Pitino, Jerry Tarkanian. Because if Pete's the only one doing things the right way, you know, Jim Boeheim, Pitino, Bobby Knight, Tarkanian, they're all there.
Oh, yeah.
So to me, it is implied that they are doing things the wrong way, and those coaches, every one of those people I mentioned, are also garbage people. Jim Boeheim is an absolute piece of garbage. Rick Pitino is a piece of trash. We've already talked about Bobby Knight. Like, it's when you know, coaches in the NCAA D1 level, like when they are the stars.
Oh yeah,
because they're the through line. You know, Krzyzewski, Pitino, Boeheim, they're the ones who were there for decades. When their students are there for at most 4 years, and these days more like 1 or 2.
Right.
And the same thing goes for football as well, but I won't even go down
Well,
that
it's like John Calipari like really leaned into it. Almost like, hey, here at Kansas, we're just a one and done school. Mm-hmm. Like that's their promoting. If here's your ticket to the NBA, come to Kansas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's they're minor leagues at this point,
right?
Making money off the back of these student athletes, but they're providing them an education. Sure, sure you are.
Well, they are providing it for them. Here's your homework, and here's your essays, and we got it all taken care of for you.
You're here to play basketball, not learn.
But it's sad, but unfortunately it's true. Yeah. So, well, let's move to a brighter movie next week. What do you have?
Yeah, we've
really light.
Yeah, this one is a laugh riot.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I'll lend you an ear.
Oh, nice. Well done.
Tell me what you're doing.
Continuing with our Bloovies theme, we are going with the 1986 David Lynch classic, Blue Velvet. So we're switching things up. We started off the month with Deep Blue Sea, then the Blue Chips, then Blue Velvet. I gotta say, Oz, I love this movie.
Oh, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but I do remember. I just like David Lynch, so I remember enjoying it.
Yeah.
This is when I'm gonna talk my wife into watching it with me.
It can be a hard watch. Parts of this movie can be really difficult to watch.
Mm-hmm. Basically, the Dennis Hopper parts.
Yeah. I think it's Dennis Hopper, basically. But it's an excellent movie, and I look forward to talking about it. This is a very eclectic month we have.
It really is. Yeah. Have you watched our last movie yet?
I have not. No.
Okay. Yeah, you'll really enjoy it. It's really good. I really, really hope you enjoy it. Okay. Because it's just a really good movie, top to bottom. It's not one you're going to feel good about, like really like this week or next week or the week after. But
we'll be feeling blue by the end of the month.
But it is. It's a very solid movie. So it's a fun one. Well, not fun, but you get
sure.
You get my point.
Yeah.
It's an enjoyable one. So, all right. Well, social media wise, you guys can find us on all the spots: Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Patreon link down below. We'd love to hear from you guys. What you think? Drop comments. Shoot us an email. Shoot us some snail mail. I don't care.
Yeah, why not?
Just put Oz and Curtis on the envelope.
And just drop it in a mailbox. Yeah, one of us will receive it.
We'll even take care of postage.
Yeah.
So don't even worry about a stamp.
Yeah, just write Oz and Curtis on it, and it'll get here.
Yeah, we'll get it, and we'll pay the postage. So, but for another week of Let's Talk About Flicks, I'm Oz.
I'm Curtis.
And we'll see you guys next week.